Throughout this next section, we're going to talk about a lot about strategic alliances. In the supply chain, this is much more powerful than the casual aspect of discussing it in the like in the business setting because of the fact it's much more intense, it's much more personal, and you truly have to depend upon the other person. One example here is the relationship between Costco and Kimberly Clark. It's nice to have this in a textbook, but the reality is that Kimberly Clark opened up its headquarters. They moved it down the street from Costco to develop a better relationship. Seems like a pretty smart idea. So that being said, it's called boots on the ground inventory management. A lot of times you'll have something on the shelf and you want to keep it on the shelf no matter how often the customer buys it. That means regular monitoring it. A lot of your big box stores, they monitor it and they do inventory. Sometimes it's a continuous inventory with a regular order going out, but often it's a matter of continuous inventory as things leave the shelf, get in the cart, they go to the cash register, the register goes click, 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 it scans it, and then it issues one or two purchase orders every week to make up for the supplies on the shelf. If you want to be in top prime situation with that shelf always full of every single item because by the way, empty shelves don't sell anything. Okay, and the promise of something might be there someday doesn't satisfy the American consumer. The reality is you need boots on the ground inventory management, somebody going through there and saying, yo, we got this happening, this happening, this happening. If you're going to have a physical basis of somebody stopping by the store, that's one thing. But if you're going to do it remotely, you need to be able to access all the data that the company, the retailer, is actually going through. That's what Kimberly Clark has done with Costco. They have the ultimate pull product because people will go up because of the fact, oh my God, I'm almost low on diapers. Nobody wants to have the residue of no diapers around. Everybody wants to have those diapers. So the reality is that if you need to have diapers, you go to the best place to get them. And if it's Costco, you will make a diaper run to Costco just for that one item. And oh, by the way, nobody escapes Costco without having a cart full of stuff, no matter what happens. I've done it once, excuse me, twice, where I've gone in, bought exactly the one or two items I want, and walked out the door. The rest of the other 752 times I've gone in to buy one or two things, I end up with a shopping cart full of goods. That said, the diapers are a pull item, the ultimate pull item, because not only are the consumer pulling it through the system to make certain that they're serviced, and we'll talk about the variety they have here with Kimberly Clark, but also they literally Kimberly Clark is pulling the customer into the Costco store because of the fact that people are going there for the diaper run. I got to have those diapers. You don't want to live a day with a baby without diapers. Yes, so this is the ultimate pull product. Literally, they work closely together. They're really Kimberly Clark. The way they do this is they reduce the number of choices down to something that's more manageable. Now, if you ever shop at Costco, you'll see that normally you don't buy a package. You buy multiple packages, two packages, and they're big packages, and they can fill your trunk half the time because it's Costco. Costco, you buy a product, and you buy enough product to fill your trunk and last for 30 days. If you can, they'd sell you a semi truck full of goods. That's the nature of Costco because they're giving you a high value, except they expect you to buy a lot of volume in the process. Kimberly Clark actually has 24 employees overseeing orders to retailers, and they reduced the inventory from a month to 2 weeks to make certain that they lower the probability of a stock out at Costco. They want to make certain that boom, boom, boom. So that means they changed the amount of safety stock they had. They kicked it up. And also, they means they kicked it up at Costco, but more than likely, they kicked it up at the regional warehouses they have that are by Costco. At Costco's, the diapers are a pull product. Kimberly Clark's mission is to keep each inventory as low as possible without risking empty shelves. It's trying to cut costs even further. It's a big deal. If they're keeping Costco's inventory low, that means somewhere along the line, they have to have this pristine supply chain of stuff coming through the system with rapid delivery and also a crisis moment as well. A lot of major retailers are moving forward toward these kind of relationships. This is an example, and it's at the beginning of chapter 8. You need to read this. It really is interesting watching this relationship. When should a company hand its logistics over to some in-house or keep it external in the process? Here you see this relationship is phenomenal. You'll read later on, and we may cover in class as well, you'll read later on about the relationship with Walmart, how they changed it from 10 times inventory a year to 100 times. How many turns does it have? If it has 10 per year, that's not okay. If they have 100 per year, that's an incredible amount, and that's exactly what the ultimate retailer wants. The more turns you have on a product, even if it's a lower profit margin, the more money you make. So that being said, what other types of partnerships can be used to improve the supply chain performance? Not just Kimberly Clark, but can you have multiple people coming and handling the inventory to make certain you're out of shelf? What kind of pressures can one describe in the case that a company's advantages? The partnerships here is not that unusual. You'll see a lot of them. One example, I know somebody, they're in the alcohol industry, and they would have people in the store 6 days a week. While in this case, the retailer was Myers, which is actually a competitor of Costco in the Midwest primarily. There are 9 to 12 states at the moment. Depends at the moment that we're looking at the size. Literally, a typical Myers Thrifty Acres is physically bigger than the average Costco here in California. Now, that being said, they were going through the store, they would see that not their product, since it's an alcohol vendor, but the things they mix it with, the different alcohol mixes, they were owned by Myers. So they suggested, the shelves are out on a regular basis because Meyer was doing a once a week reorder, and literally the shelves would be pretty much bare because the orders would be ordered on Monday, they would come in on Tuesday or Wednesday, the shelves would be bare typically on Thursday, for sure by Friday, and so the whole weekend would go, and not, then the shelves would be empty. Well, it doesn't matter to the alcohol distributor, except for the fact that the mix isn't there, they might go someplace else. They propose going in and changing the world, and then changing the world, they says, we'll order the stuff for you through your own supplier just to make sure you have it on shelf, and we get a piece of the action. You'll get a piece of the action, and lo and behold, they had a 300% increase because they had somebody physically there ordering their product, just like the Costco Kimberly Clark relationship. This is big, it's powerful, but you have to be able to trust the other people by the time you're all done. If you can't trust them, it won't get done. We'll talk about all the different advantages, also one or two failures in the process as well that have in this process that could have sat down there and really had difficulties. We're going to dive into the third-party logistics, but I want to make certain that we cover the aspect of Costco and Kimberly Clark, because this is the ultimate relationship that you have with the retailer sharing with the actual manufacturer slash distributor. All the data is getting in the store. This is a solid partnership. It'll be going on probably for years to come if everything goes well. It has a strong advantage for both parties, both when it is the ultimate strategic alignment. Take care.